Okay, welcome everyone to the Pro Trade Room Plus and the WASDE Report. My name is Lee Goldstein, the Trading Director for 10-Minute Trades. Please remember all the trades we discuss for educational purposes. Okay, so let's get cracking. Let me give everybody a heads up what we're trading on this report. I'm trading soybeans, ZS 0525 is the contract. I'm also possibly going to trade corn, ZC, also 0525. Corn, definitely soybeans. Corn has not been behaving all that well on this report in quite a while, but soybeans have been the bean, the grain of choice, the grain of choice. So you should definitely be in the May contract, the May contract. Okay, so that's first things first. Now, I thought it might be fun to look at what happened at the WASDE report a year ago and 2 years ago and 3 years ago. So first, I'll tell you what. Let's look at a year ago. Here's the video. And I do want to welcome everyone who's watching us on YouTube. We are streaming today. So, hit the like button. That'll really help us out. So WASDE a year ago. Let's see if we could find the trade here. March 8th. Corn was not trading very well. And it was kind of a delayed soybean response, not a very big initial response. Now, corn had a little bit of a move, and soybeans, they really didn't. It was not much of a move a year ago. Now, I don't like to cancel WASDE, but I did. Let's see if it wound up moving. Corn just basically almost tested the low that day. And then soybeans, if you waited, and that's why I don't like to cancel, because usually there's a move, even if it's a weird one. And last month, I don't have the video, but we had a weird move last month. It was slow and it took its time. So March of 24, not the most normal kind of move that I would have expected. Let's look at March of 23. March of 23. It hit the first target, didn't follow through, and I started to shrink the targets as I did get worried about the follow through not taking place. And then corn, the corn charts are spread pretty wide. That is not a huge move in corn. It's only about 632, 10 ticks to the downside. Finally, we got the move, at least delayed move again in March, and then corn did a big reversal on corn. And let's take a look at 3 years ago. 2022, March 9th. Much smaller brackets. This was March of 22. And we had corn on the left, soybeans on the right. That tells me we were more interested in corn back then, and it had an insane whipsaw, out of control, unsafe trade. That was the first time in years that WASDE had a really bad event. Really bad. Usually it's not that crazy, but every now and then any report can be crazy. So in 2022, it was not a good trade. That was a long time ago. We've had maybe one a year that has a crazy whipsaw. So what are we going to do today? So I'm going to trade WASDE. I like the WASDE report. I don't think that corn has been very good to trade as a trap or a breakout, but on corn, what I'd like to do is set up a reverse continuation. And I think what I'll do with corn is trade a reverse continuation. I'll look for a reversal. That's what I'm looking for with corn, a reversal. So if there's an initial move, I'll probably swap the direction. So I'll set up just a reverse continuation trade. Oh, let me reverse continuation. And it's 1250 a tick, just like the S&P. And I'll go for 15 ticks. Corn's not been moving that much. And I'll go for a 15 tick stop. So just one position, 15 tick target, 15 tick stop, reverse continuation. I'll label it REV CONT for reverse continuation, and I'll trade it in my prop account. Let's see, number 8. I had a nice gold trade yesterday. And I just want to make sure I'm in the right account. Number 4 is good. So 4 is what we're trading it on. And then I'm going to trade soybeans in account number 8. So let's set up our soybean trade. Let's look at the DMM. Now, if you look at why am I not trading a breakout on corn? Because it really hasn't been working that great. We are missing February. It's just the way it is. My boss is in Australia and we had a miscommunication. We didn't get the journal for February. Corn last month, it went up 11. It went up 10, down 11, and then it moved 30 ticks in the opposite direction. It was a very strange trade. Soybeans were a small winner last month. And you had to not quit the trade, you had to just wait. So we've got a reverse continuation on corn. All right, I won't trade it unless corn makes a move. And if it makes a decent move, I'll take the opposite direction. Soybeans, on soybeans, my only hesitation is I'm almost tempted to use a 12 bracket instead of 15. The breakout will be 11.59.58. The bracket is 15. The market's pretty quiet, and we've got targets. Targets can be anywhere between 8 and 30. You could see what the moves have been. There's been nice trading with soybeans. So your targets can be anywhere between 8 and 30. And if it hits my first target, because this report does tend to reverse, I will absolutely use target 1 stop move, break even -5 with a stop of 20. Should it hit my first target, what that means is my stop will automatically move to break even -5, BE -5. So I'm going to trigger the trade, activate at 11:59.58. The bracket is 15, targets anywhere between 8 and 30, and the stop is 20. And then I will use the target 1 stop mode feature to move my stop automatically. If the first target is hit, to BE -5, it could be BE -4. Doesn't have to be exactly what I do. Stop is 20. I'll label the trade breakout ZS, and I'm going to apply it and test the brackets in Sim by setting my time to 0. Apply it. So my time is set to 0. When you enable a 0 trade, it's going to trigger your brackets as soon as there's price movement. A 0 time trade. Notice there's got to be price movement for the bracket to calculate. There's our brackets. They're way too big, so I'll shrink them down a little bit. I want to be able to manage the trade. That's the point. And now I'm going to go back to strategies and put the time to the correct time. 11:59.58. I've got my bracket, and I'm going to use a bracket of 12. Maybe I'm going to be sorry, but these markets, they're not moving all as much as they had been. So I'm going to use that bracket of 12. Everything else stays the same. Targets anywhere between 8 and 30 with a stop of 20. And you can, if you hover over the items on the left, it will describe what that item does. All right. And then if target 1 is hit, target 1 stop move, BE -5, it's going to move my stop to break even -5. And then I'm going to choose the correct account to trade in, apply, and OK. Put your chart trader on the correct account, and I'm ready for the breakout. And then enable it in the control panel. Enable the trade. Make sure your time is set back to the correct time. You don't want your trade triggering on live charts, right? All right, so we're ready. I'm also setting up on soybeans a reverse continuation, a second strategy on the same chart. Double click the news trader, reverse continuation on the trade type. And I'm going to set it up the same way. One position, position size 1 is a 1, 15 tick target, 15 tick stop. Everything else is zeroed out. I just have to make sure that I put it on the same account I'm trading the breakout. I'm not going to trade a reversal until the breakout's over or it doesn't fill. And I'm going to label it reverse continuation, apply it, and OK it, and enable it. All right. So if for some reason there's no fill and there's a slow move, I'll have the opportunity to take the move. Maybe there will be a trend after the news. You never know. Let's look at what happened in January. In January, WASDE is interesting. It trades with quarterly grains. So sometimes in January, you can have a pretty big move because it trades with that extra report. So here's what happened in January. Don't forget, everybody should always, at the beginning of the day and a couple of times during the day, check your time sync at the website time.is. Time.is. So here's January. January, sometimes we get a little bit of a kick with quarterly grains. Not always, but sometimes. Corn on the right, soybeans on the left. I mean, I remember what happened. I'm pretty sure corn had a decent move, better than normal. Look at corn breaking out, and soybeans had a nice breakout also. Hit hit our targets. And I'm just looking to see if we ever took that reversal. I would have taken it. I would take it right here. Did we? Too late. Didn't do it. Now soybeans went back up. Look at that. Soybean, there it is. Finally, soybeans. No, they never really had a very good reversals. Neither. Neither reversed very well. Now, if you use the squeeze can keep you safe. The squeeze was looking long. So I would maybe not want to take a reversal in the opposite direction of the squeeze. I do prefer the squeeze on a 30-second chart, but it's just a little bit slower on the 1 minute, and you can still take the safety signal if you want to. So I would recommend, I like using the squeeze on this particular trade. All right, so let's look at November. Let's look at what happened in December. So that was January. December, Now, what's interesting is Financial Juice started covering this report again, but I just don't think anybody really can analyze the news fast enough to totally get the direction. Now, corn, the charts are spread very wide. That's only an 8 tick move. Don't let the corn chart throw you. Corn has not been moving very much. The charts are spread wider. Soybeans, it's why I'm kind of shrinking the bracket today. We're just not seeing big explosions. So I'm going to try not to leave profit in the bracket. But I'd like to see a nice solid move on WASDE. It's been a while. And we're due for a good move. Oh, now, wait a minute, folks. You might not be able to trade corn. The prop companies have not been allowing corn. Let me see if I can put an order on. I can. I can put a corn order on. I wonder if it'll work during the trade, but right now it's working. Back in December, we couldn't. I'm using a 12. I'm using a 12, Roz. So I'm able to put an order on with corn. Now, I'm only interested in trading corn after the news because the moves haven't been big enough. All right. Corn is in, both instruments are in very tight ranges, very tight. Let me go over the settings again for everybody. On the ZS, on soybeans, the breakout, I'm triggering at 11:59.58, bracket of 12. Two positions, position 1 and position 2, targets anywhere between 8 and 40. The stop is 20, and target 1 stop move. If my first target gets hit, I'm going to move my stop to break even -5 or 4 or 3. Any of those are fine. I like 5. It keeps the price out of the way. And then I'm going to label the trade BRKZS, breakout ZS, and make sure you choose the right account. Apply it and OK it and turn it on in the control panel. Then I've also got a corn reverse continuation and a soybean reverse continuation, both the same, set up the same. One position, 15 tick target, 15 tick stop. And on soybeans, I'm interested after the breakout, not before or during, right? You don't want to interfere with the trade, so you certainly don't want to do it unless the breakout is complete. Okay? If the breakout is not complete, setting up and trading another trade with the same instrument will interfere with the previous setup, so you don't want to do that. Corn also doing a reverse continuation. Just checking the account. Corn is 4, and then my soybeans are in 8. All right. And then check your chart trader, 8. Check my chart trader, 4. Okay. Just if you are on the wrong account on your chart trader, you will not see your orders. You won't see them. I'm just looking through some of the news. All right, we've got 4 minutes to go. Let's look at one more video. Let's go and look at November. Going right to the trade in November. We've got soybeans on the left. We were trying the corn trade on the right. Real nice move. You could see in November. Excellent soybean move and a very dull corn move. We used to trade corn a year and a half ago. Corn, maybe even 2 years now. Corn was trading better than soybeans, and it has flip-flopped. And it's done that before. And they've also flip-flopped into trap trades on a rare occasion. The breakout had been a trap for a few months, probably 2 or 3 years ago. Now, usually, both instruments will move at the same time, usually. Sometimes one of the instruments will move first, telling us that the news is out. One of the tricks of WASDE, although now it's changing because Financial Juice is covering it, if I hear in my headset that the news is out and there's no move, for instance, on soybeans at all, then we'll know we can cancel the trade. In the old days, when no one covered this, usually no one covers this report. It's just not been a calendar report. All right, we've got 2 minutes. Markets are not a lot of movement from last night at the market. Oh, you know what? The grains trade differently. The grains trade differently. Something that we might have wanted to do. I'm not going to do it now. Remember that your pivots are not going to be correct. They should be calculated for corn and soybeans. Right click, data series, default 24/7. That will calculate the pivots correctly for corn. I'm not going to change them for soybeans because I'm going to trade the same way no matter what. All right, now we're just waiting for the news to come out. I'm really only paying close attention to soybeans because it's a breakout. The brackets will show up in a couple of seconds. There's our brackets. I believe the news is out because corn is moving. I'm going to cancel soybeans. There's just nothing going on. I would cancel soybeans. Now I've got a reversal going on corn. Let's see if it'll maintain or if it's going to push down. I could move my stop to safety and I could trail. I think it's going to test the high here. So I'll trail tick for tick, or I could trail close, make a little more money. It got a little bit dull right here. Soybeans just didn't do anything. All right, so it pulled back, small winner, small winner. Pretty much a non-event on soybeans. It was not a very big move on corn either. Honestly, that candle is not gigantic. Not gigantic. 16 ticks, okay? So figure if you had a 6 or 8 tick bracket, you don't have a lot of profit there, okay? So actually doing it the way we did it made the most sense. It almost always changes direction. Now, soybeans are moving a little bit, but still, that's only about a 12 tick move. I'm not going to trade soybeans because they're just not really making a big move from the news. Anybody have any questions? It was just like Ravi said, not the greatest event. Now it's interesting. It does look like soy is negative, but I feel like I've missed the move. So I don't want to jump in and try and chase it here. It almost looks like soybean might want to go test the low. The problem for me is it wasn't a big enough up move to trust a big reversal. And it's already moved about 15 ticks. So I think I'll pass on it. I took the reversal in soy in corn, and it looks like we got as much as we could get because it changed direction again. So I think I'm going to turn everything off, small profit, and move on to the next event. So I'll see everybody at 4 o'clock for the API report. Anybody have any questions before we go? I want to thank everyone for watching on YouTube. Hit the like button, it really helps us. And join the membership. There's a link where you could join. Thank you very much, everyone on YouTube. Any questions from the trade room? Anybody? Happy to answer. I think the question was just getting out of soybeans quick. I thought it would test the high, but I like trailing tight these days. These markets are volatile. Okay, everybody, I'll see everybody back here at 4. I'll see everybody back here at 4. Have a good afternoon. See you in a bit.